Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're featuring Onion Knight's deck, Wind Lightning. Warsaw, my teammate likes to call it Hold the Onions. So this is the deck he took to the last tournament, the Magnet Series. This is the updated version, obviously. He's since made a couple changes. We think it's playing a lot better. It's definitely this in terms of speed. The speed hasn't changed. It's still pretty fast, and it still has a lot of plays. He is playing the light Onion Knight now for an extra target, for more haste as well, just to try to help push in the damage. Also, it gives him another name for the S ability for the wind one, and you can see it there in the break zone too. He's also playing the Opus 4 White Mage. We like that card. They like that card a lot. My teammate seems to like that card a lot. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. It's okay. It's not the best if you ask me. There are, if it's a backup you're concerned about, then sure, I guess it helps. But I think Sylph and other cards do it the same effect, slightly better. But yeah, so this deck will be featuring the Wind Lightning Onion Knight deck going up against the Wind Earth Dadaluma, I believe the Mono Ice again, and then my Mono Water deck at the end. So we'll get into that as we go. This deck sees he's got a good hand there. He's got the Onion Knight, Alcid, Archer, and Cyclops. So let's see what he goes and does here. Takes a while to think. I think I'm gonna try to get these guys to help make their decisions a little bit faster, because. But seeing, alright, so he did his effect and he brought out the other Onion Knight. That's kind of why he does it now. So now when he, ideally in this scenario, I guess you would also want to give it haste in the future, with the Red Mage, I believe, Lightning Red Mage. And so this is just the beginning of the duel. Yeah, so I don't know, there's not much I can say about this deck. I don't play it often. I play against it, yeah, but I don't use it. I haven't actually test driven it. We did take out the Orlando's, and we did take out some of the bigger cards. I guess they were just getting too cloggy. That's a good card to talk about, Dadaluma. I haven't shown it. In the previous duel, I don't think he played it that often, or I don't know if it came out at all, honestly. But it has like multiple effects. The first one is you can destroy a card, same cost on your side and one on your opponent's side. It worked well in this case because he got rid of the Moogle and he was able to draw one. Also, when it's targeted, it gets plus 1,000, kind of like Ash, the water one. Not as much of a buff, but definitely something that's good in case of lightning or ice or fire, even just to help keep him alive. And he's not he's on curve. He's a 3 cost 7,000. Yeah, see, he's pointing, indicating that he would gain 1,000, but Alcid Onion Knight combo deals 11k, so yeah, that wasn't gonna survive. But yeah, so it's just there's a couple cards we were changing. I think he's playing the Black Waltz also from Opus 4 now. I don't remember what he took out. I don't know all the cards, all the major changes he did, but I'm pretty sure this is what he's sticking with also for the Tampa event coming up on the 20th. These are pretty much going to be our decks. I'm probably the only one that isn't sure what they're going to play. As much as I like water, I think I need to play something else, or I want to play something else too. But yeah, so let's see where this turn goes. He just drew. He's deciding how to take care of the Dadaluma. Yeah, team attack is usually the best idea sometimes when you want to go try to get rid of the Dadaluma, because if you're not strong enough, then it shouldn't pointless to swing. But when fighting it, you want to get rid of it as soon as possible, especially if the deck tries to revolve around it a lot. And I think the glare got worse on the prizes over there on the top right, on the big damage points. Yeah, he ends up giving him to him. I think that was a Cactuar there. He ends up giving it to him because he doesn't want to lose the Dadaluma. He probably he probably has a good hand. He needs to keep it alive. So he'll pass turn. See. Oh, there's the Banga Thief. I think I mentioned it briefly in a previous video that I don't know how I feel about that card. It's cool, I guess, just to keep another Brave, just to keep attacking. Being that it's a monster, it's untargetable and safe for at some point, to some regard. But I just feel like those are better. There's better cards that can be played. See, being as he pitched one for the other one too, it's not that. Yeah, I don't know. See, in this case, he could probably, if they do decide to team attack, he'll probably pitch out the Banga Thief and take down one of the forwards, probably the Onion Knight. See, that's another problem too. When playing against Wind Lightning, it's hard to decide which one you want to get rid of in this scenario, because the Onion Knight will just fuel the Wind Onion Knight usually, and then facing off with the Alcid will give them the option to play Alcid again. See, now he's swinging it. Well, we kind of saw what he had in his hand. See. So I always choose to go for the Onion Knight. I personally always like to leave the Alcid on board because I don't want to see him come out and just deal another damage, like do the Alcid combo, break something for 11k or whatever, or even Rigdia, I think it's 9k. But yeah, so you see the Cyclops here, and now he's swinging with both. He ends up getting a damage play and getting the Banga Thief off the board. But going back to what I was saying, it's real tough because remember, when the Wind Onion Knight comes out, he can grab an Onion Knight from the destroyed pile. So it's just that's kind of one of the cool things about that deck. It's just it keeps plussing. It has a momentum and it doesn't really lose hand count sometimes unless you overextend. So here now we have the Estola coming out, but unfortunately he doesn't have he doesn't have any wind backups to help generate the effects to deal with the forwards. And see there, he has the extra Alcid in his hand, and exactly, see, and that's usually what ends up happening. Like I mentioned, you always want to kill the Onion Knight. You want to leave the black, the Alcid, you want to leave the Alcid alive because that play becomes a dead card in his hand eventually, and as long as it stays alive, he can't, he can't keep doing it. So I guess what's going on here is that he took 6,000, and then he's reducing him by 2, and when Black Waltz targets him for his effect, he's dealing another 4k to Alcid, breaking Alcid. So I would have done it differently, but I probably would summon the Black Waltz first, and then started swung with whatever he targeted first, just to try to get some extra damage points on the way. That's just me. I don't know. I'm sure you guys see other plays here. It's hard to, it's always easier to observe and decide what plays you want to make, watching from outside the duel as opposed to being involved in the duel. I know that's happened to me several times where I see certain plays, but someone later points out to me that I had at least another 1 or 2 options, maybe. It definitely happened to Warsaw the last tournament in the final, in top 4, where he pretty much brain burped out of. He had the game. All he had to do, he had cleared the board. I think Emperor was on board, and then all he had to do was give it haste, but he must have forgot, or he didn't think he would have been able to clear, get through, or deal the damage. Something happened, and he ended up losing in top 4 because of it. But then literally everyone else around him pointed it out that everyone else saw that play, and they pointed out that he was able to win that one, but he missed it and he passed on the turn. And it's funny how one turn you can have game, and then the second your opponent draws, they literally turn the game over, and you lose all the pressure or momentum you had in the moment. But alright, so here he brings up Barbaria, targets Dadaluma to reduce it to 1. He'll swing, dealing 4,000 to Barbaria. Oh no, he deals 4,000 for when it targets it, and 4,000 when it swings. And he's questioning why doesn't he die? He's like, obviously because Barbaria put it at 1k, so Black Balls only took 1k damage in this one. And this is kind of a slow game actually, but neither of them have gotten enough backups to. They're just trading forwards at this point. But yeah, coming up next is going to be the Mono Ice. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a quick duel. I'll hop off the mic here so you guys can watch it. It's a silly duel anyway. I will come back and commentate on the water one, because I think that was a really good duel. I think that's the deck I play the best, obviously, being as I take it so often to tournaments. I do want to get good with something else. I don't want to be a one-trick pony there. Playing mono water, it's hard. I think it's hard adjusting to the different play styles of each color. Warsaw's been playing lightning since the beginning, and I think Chibi's probably the one that's gone through many phases. He started off, his starter deck was the cloud one, the fire earth, and then he jumped into fire ice, wind ice, and now wind earth. So he's kind of gone full circle. The only thing he doesn't play is water. So he kind of has a better understanding maybe of more how the different play styles are. But I definitely do think there's a learning curve when playing one element for so long and going into another one. I think going forward into these, I will be posting more dual series videos. Please let me know if there's any decks you want to see up against which deck, go up against other decks. I'll take requests. It's fine. No big deal. We can definitely make it work. We have a lot of cards and a lot of decks built. I think we each have at least minimum of 2 decks. I believe Chibi and I have 3 decks that we play, and so we can do a couple of test runs. They might not be the most competitive decks in terms of like play testing and how often, and we definitely don't net deck. We try not to net deck anyway. We look at the decks for ideas, see things, and ask questions why they play those cards. But and it also lets me read up on cards I might have overlooked in the past. So, but we definitely don't, sit there, go copy card for card, and then start playing. So, because there's a lot of decks like that. I finally saw the updated version for the deck list for top 8 at the Las Vegas Cup, and I was really surprised to see a lot of what was up there. I think first was Earth Ice, which to me it looks okay, but there's again, going into it, there's a lot of things I don't understand why, and I would love to hear or maybe even see a discussion about it. Maybe we can have that discussion here. Actually, maybe I'd do that next week. Just point out the deck. Let me know what you guys think, and we can talk about it. Just leave me a comment if you guys think that's something you want to do. And this is looking pretty one-sided. He's putting the Titan out just so it doesn't get broken. Oh no, giving it Brave, I think. Yeah, giving it Brave is what he did. And here we've got, what has he got in his hand? He's got Alcid, Black Mage, looks like Onion Knight, and Minerva. Minerva's another card we've been talking about. It really is my only problem with that card is that it's so clunky, both in your hand and on the board, and it's expensive. It's a big cost. It does have a lot of power. It is a big wall to deal with, even for, you know, something like Dadaluma, who has ways of breaking it down. But the main reason we were talking about it is because one of its effects pretty much is a blanket of negating effects. It just says nothing. Oh, this is a funny moment. I remember this one. So when Onion Knight comes out, he does have to pick something to deal 3,000. He would deal 3,000 to himself. He gives it haste, but then he realizes that if he attacks, he'll have to deal another 3,000 to himself, and then he would, Chibi would definitely be able to finish it off with the Cactuar. And he sees it, he realizes what he did, and then he's about to pass turn. So he goes, see, he's talking about it. And then he just passes turn there because he realizes that if he does swing, he would die. And he starts explaining. That was a funny moment. But, you know, you guys always got to be aware of that. And especially if it's your opponent's or even yours, you know, some of these effects are mandatory. So, and it doesn't specify which backup it was. I mean, it doesn't specify which forward is your opponent's or just yours, so you have to choose a forward. In this case, it chooses himself for both the attack and on deployment. But yeah, so Raban's an interesting card. I know a lot of people use it as pretty much an out now instead of summons, because summons can be negated or stuff can be chosen, stuff that can't be chosen. But it's definitely interesting to see how that card has become a great answer, because dealing 9,000 is just very, 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 very strong, and that will clear about 90% of the forwards. And yeah, that's the game there. So like I said, going on to game 2, we'll be up against Mono Ice starting now. I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, I'm back here for the game 3. This is me playing my mono water deck. This is the updated version I showed you guys in one of my previous videos. This does have the changes. I think there was one more change I wanted to make after this deck, after this duel and before the tournament. So I'm still playing the 3-cost summoner backup, but since I'm playing Cyclops now, it loses a little bit of usefulness. So I'm definitely going to take it out. I might throw in another forward. It might be another Emperor, or it might be another Zidane. It might even be a 4-cost summoner, which is the one that lets me bring back summons from the break zone, and that is definitely one that I mentioned before that can be very useful. And is definitely something that helps you deal with solutions more towards the end of the game, because you might have sometimes I feel like I've used my Leviathans too early, and or Cyclopses or anything really. So that's just something else I'm considering. And here's my basic opening play. Like I said, going forward, by turn 2 I'd like to have 2 backups and 1 forward, or 3 backups. I don't personally like putting 2 backups on turn 1. It just doesn't seem like something you're forcing yourself to do it, wasting cards you might need. Unless you have doubles, of course. You open doubles in your hand, kind of like I did. I opened double Yuna and double Astrology in there, but I still waited till turn 2 to do those things. And yeah, like I said, going into it, you want to set the backups so you can set up your forwards based on the ones you have in your hand. So the reason he put down 2 backups turn 1 is because he wanted to play, a turn 4, turn 2. You can kind of see, you can kind of tell what kind of cards they have in their hand based off that. So yeah, there's a lot of things going into just the first turns of the game. But see, he's pitching 4 there because I think he wants to. Do the Regia thing. Yeah, there you go. So he's able to do different solutions. But you see 2 with the 2 backups there, and his forwards are evens. It kind of makes sense for him to make those plays. Makes him work a little more efficiently, at least. But yeah, so this duel was very tough. It went on for a little while. There was a lot of things. I don't think we made any mistakes. I think we played it as best as we could. But definitely, I think I started off a little slow. Not opening Minwoo or drawing into Minwoo as early as I had hoped definitely slowed me down. The first Leviathan, I think here I just said get rid of the Regia. I take a damage, get the Leviathan. I'm not even sure what to give, but yeah, I tell him to give back the Regia, because Regia requires you to have taken damage, I believe. So yeah, and the thing is about the Ash is that even though it gets targeted by Barbarecia, my effect will respond to it. So going backwards, I'll get the boost of 3k, but then I'll get reduced anyway. So yeah. Yeah, and here he takes a little while to think, because I think we were talking about something, but he's trying to decide what's the best action to take here. And sometimes you gotta take back. I think he's gonna start doing this more often, honestly, because sometimes you just need to take a step back from the duel and just look at it objectively, and you want to help make the right decision. It's not such a critical point in the game. Maybe it feels like it's not. He definitely has the advantage, in my opinion. He's got 3 backups and more hand power. So yeah, he ends up swinging 7-7. I think he expects a reward here, but I end up trading mainly because I want to try to get the advantage in damage points after this, but I forget if he summons something. Yeah, with 3 backups, it's safe to assume he would definitely deploy on your forward. Oh, he puts out another backup and passes turn. And then I get the min move, so now we're looking good. Now I feel confident, honestly. I think once the min move's on board, it definitely provides a safety net for me to fall back on. And see here, here's a good idea. If you notice there, I pitched one of my Cyclopses. I pitched it because I lost Garnet, and so I was thinking, why didn't I use the Cyclops to reduce the Barbarecia? Again, he had a hand advantage on me at the moment, so I chose not to waste my hand, but it kind of didn't work out for me. And I regretted not keeping both forwards on board, but like I said, I thought I'd made the right choice there. Here's Barbarecia again. Giving it haste. I have to give him one. That was the new Steiner I got there in the damage point. I didn't think I wanted to waste. Well, I definitely didn't want it because I was at 1,000 power. I didn't want to activate her. Now I make her 8k, able to swing. I guess one of my philosophies is if you only have one forward and your opponent only has one forward, you kind of want to always trade the backups, especially when you're ahead. And what I mean by ahead is like I just hit the 3 and then he has to hit the 3. So when I'm going at that rate, when I'm going for the 4th, for the 7th damage point, it would make sense for him to start playing cards. And see, this is one of the things he was trying to test out, playing the Ritz and the Minerva in the deck, just to kind of help push back all those nasty effects that bounce back, and the Minwoo and Emperor, anything like that kind of just they're passive continuous effects, so they don't trigger and they don't deal with Emperor and the reason he's playing the Ritz now is because he doesn't like being bounced. That's one of the things he hates the most. I remember the last time he played Minerva, or in a previous deck, I literally Leviathaned it 3 times in a row. He kept summoning it back to 3 times, the 3 turns in a row, and each turn I had a Leviathan ready for him. So Ritz is a good card. I think it plays well in certain decks, but not in all. I mentioned that before. And there's Mog again. Mog is I mentioned Mog in my other deck, in my other videos as well. I really do like that card a lot. I noticed that one of the players, I think a mono water deck at the Las Vegas tournament this past weekend, played 1 instead of 2 in his mono water build, but I'm glad it's seeing play, at least a little bit. I guess no one really thinks that the drawing 1 card a turn is such a good thing, but I guess mainly because it's so weak, is the curve isn't there. If it was a little bit stronger, people would play it a lot more. But what are you gonna do? This is a hard part for me here. I am definitely not feeling advantageous in this scenario. And unfortunately, I don't get to plus off the Mog this turn, because he does summon the Onion Knight, deals it 4,000, giving the Onion Knight haste, and then upon swinging, he will destroy the Mog. Yeah. And then I have to give it to him. I give it to him, I get an EX burst, which is cool, but I keep the Ash out so I can try to hope to get rid of the Ritz. Yeah, I end up searching Garnet. I was thinking the other Steiner, but I need Garnet to play my summons and get the buffs out so I can deal with stuff. And then there goes the other Mog. Yeah, I definitely gave out too many there. I probably could have stopped them. It's hard when you're at 6 damage points. You kind of feel like you're backed up into a corner. I don't have a lot of stuff here, but I think I do get out of the situation a little bit. Yeah, I never remember now. I'm counting my water cards because I have Cagnazzo on horn. And I think I try to set up for it, not this turn. Or I might have to do it this turn, I forget. Yeah. I don't let him get off the Minerva play, that's for sure. I definitely would have done something else had I had the Leviathan in hand, but my only option here is to pitch tap for, I believe it's Chukulane. Yeah. This lets me reduce by 7. 1 for every duel card your opponent controls, so that puts him down to 3k. I'll let no response. I'll draw a card on the resolution of Chukulane. And then I'm pretty sure I play Cagnazzo here. Or the Cyclops, I think it is. I think Cagnazzo was later. Sometimes these are the plays you have to make to try to get out of the situations. Yeah, no, I definitely could have played that a lot better now. Looking back at it, I could have Chukulane the Ritz, broken the Ritz, and Leviathan the... I think I messed up though. I thought I had another answer, another card to break more of them, but man, that was a really bad play. Now that I look at it, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. That when you're in the duel, you don't see all the plays, but now watching it back and playing it back, I kind of see I definitely could have had gotten rid of the Ritz. With the Chukulane, and then bounce the stupid Minerva back to his hand, so I would have kept everything and I wouldn't have had to waste so many resources. So yeah, there you go. See what I'm talking about? I guess this is gonna be good for me and for the team, I guess, just to go back and start watching some of our older videos, because you definitely see stuff you don't see at the moment. I think he's trying to decide if he can swing, but he won't be able to get past me with Cagnazzo and Minu on board. I can literally block them all if they attack independently, but I think he decides to start going for... Oh no, he breaks the Ash. I obviously can't let it go. I have to trade there. And I didn't want to lose Cagnazzo in that scenario because Cagnazzo would have been works out better if he, if he's attacking one at a time. But I think I just run out of cards here. Put the Scholar down. Yeah. And that's all I got. I don't think I get any more forwards at this point. Yep, and he reduces me to boot. Team attack. I have to block. Gives him haste. And that's it. Block, and then I take it. Next game. Relax. Yep. Well, yeah, it was a good game. Like I said, going back into it now, I definitely see some plays I could have made. But hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you later.